Hey, we're with Justin from Fireside Games. He's owner and designer for Fireside. So Justin, tell us about Dead Panic.
Dead Panic. We flew these copies over special just for Gen Con. The game's coming out in September, and it is a rework of Castle Panic. What we did is, rather than just paint zombies on it and say we're good, we actually made a new game kind of using the Castle Panic system. So the idea here is instead of towers that you defend, you're actually a character. So you have a person with a certain amount of health and everything, and you get a special ability in the game. You're going to be in the cabin, actually moving around. You have actions on your turn that you spend to move around the cabin, pick up new cards that you can use to fight with and stuff like that. Also, you will eventually need to leave the cabin to go get radio pieces. I'll get to that later. What's going to happen is as you pick stuff up, you'll pick up, for example, guns. Guns have a different way they work. They have a certain amount of damage. A certain amount of damage they do. A range that they shoot out to, which is kind of like the swordsman, knight, and archer in Castle Panic, except they overlap. So a rifle that shoots into what we call the woods now is kind of like an archer that works on all three. They overlap. They also have a certain number of uses. Every time you use a bullet from your gun, you rotate. When you're out of bullets, it becomes a club, and you can smash zombies in the head with it as melee combat. There are better melee weapons because these break as soon as you use them. So. The other thing that's different is the way the turns go. Every player gets 2 actions. When they've all taken their actions, then the zombies do their stuff. And that's done by these event cards you draw. Event cards tell you a couple of pieces of information. How many zombies come out is that, and then what it does. So this pound sign means equals the number of players. So if it's a 4-player game, I got to draw 4 zombies. A 2-player game, I draw 2 zombies. And then I do whatever this says, which may involve movement, drawing new pieces or whatever, something like that, losing cards. Nothing good comes out of there, So the way you get out of the game alive is by basically getting rescued. You have survivor tokens that look like the monster tokens, but they're friendly. They're yellow colored. They come out and move towards you one space at a time. If they die or reach the cabin, they drop one of 3 radio pieces. You guys need to go out and get radio pieces. One person puts all 3 radio pieces together. Then you call the rescuers. The rescuers are not on the board anymore. The rescuers are a van that shows up in the woods. It doesn't come any closer. You have to leave the cabin and get out into the van, and then you're safe in the game. That's the only way to survive.
Awesome.
When you're doing melee combat, if you fail the melee combat, you either have to drop the weapon you were using in the combat or take an injury. Once you take 3 injuries, you're dead, and you come back as a zombie, and you actually chase your friends around the board as a little 3-sided token and try and eat their brains.
Nice, man.
You get your own abilities you can customize and stuff, so you're never really out of the game unless you're a zombie who's been killed, then you're dead.
So how long has Dead Panic been in development?
Oh my gosh. Actually, we had another game going that we ended up sort of sidelining and switching gears. So this guy's been in development a little over a year probably, including some manufacturing time. So it's been on the back burner for a long time though, because when I first came up with Castle Panic, some of the ideas I played with were a spaceship version, a disease version, which turned out to be too close to pandemic, a zombie version, and the fantasy version. The fantasy one worked the best. Everything just clicked. So we went with that. But this has sort of been like, I want to do that zombie one again, you know? So. And we kind of picked the best time. Zombies are everywhere, so.
And when should we expect Dead Panic to actually be available for the general public?
It should be available around late September, we're thinking. You can pre-order now, I think Cool Stuff Inc. and I think maybe Troll and Toad are taking pre-orders, so look for that kind of thing. And your local game store can order it. It's in their catalog. It's in the system already, so.
Good deal.
Coming soon.
Yeah, well, we're looking at it. We can't wait to kind of get our hands on it and
it's
take
kind
it
of
around
awesome.
with
I think you'll have some fun.
Good deal. So what's, other than Dead Panic, what's coming up for Fireside here? What can we expect?
Well, we got a couple things going on. Right now, we're on what we call our West by Southwest tour. We actually left Texas in February, and we've been on the road ever since. We are going from retailer store to retail store, visiting conventions and gaming groups and showing off the product, mostly because we didn't have a lot of knowledge about the West Coast. We knew the stores by all the big conventions, but we wanted to get out to like California stuff. It's been a hoot. We've met so many gamers and been to San Diego and LA, and we're going to actually go back from Indy to Portland and then Seattle. So we're going to hit the whole West Coast.
Good deal, man.
We're doing that, and then during all that, we're working on the next expansion for Castle Panic. Doesn't have a name yet, and I can't give details, but it's going to be a little smaller probably than Wizard's Tower with all sorts of new things you get to do and new stuff that gets done to you. And then there's probably going to be a Dead Panic expansion later. Well, a couple of other things up the sleeve that I can't say right now, but there's definitely more stuff cooking. We're not done.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk
thank
to
you,
us.
Man.
Really appreciate it.
You bet, you bet.
Justin from Fireside.
Hi, guys.
From Gen Con, this is Ryan for D6 Mafia.